The One webcomic recently released a few chapters, and we are introduced to Blue, who is Blast's son. If you guys remember, Blast is the #1 mysterious ranked hero in the One Punch Man universe who has never shown himself. We've only seen a few silhouettes of his character. We don't know exactly what his powers are. There's a lot of theories behind it, but there have been hints throughout this arc, which is the next arc after the Monster Association arc, leading into a potential run-in with Blast. First, we saw a little snippet of this Ninja King, and it appeared that he had lost his battle with Blast, and when Blast arrived at the ninja village, it appeared that he had killed a whole bunch of young, innocent ninjas. He was killing younglings, just like Star Wars. And so that gives us a little bit of information about his character. Is he actually evil? And we don't know that yet, but now that we're being introduced to his son, who is 16 years old and is the #1 Neo-Hero, which we're going to get into in just a minute, I think we're about to get some more juicy details about Blast, and a potential run-in between Blast and Saitama is looking more and more likely. Now, as we dive into these most recent chapters, it appears that the Hero Association is basically falling apart. A new organization called the Nero-Heroes is poaching a lot of the S-rank heroes and other heroes from the Hero Association in order to create a new one, which for them has better benefits, less likely that they'll die and things like that. And basically the opportunity to become a Neo-Hero is looking really spicy for a lot of the traditional heroes in the One Punch Man universe. We get introduced to a bunch of new heroes like Excel, Ryuman, Zaydats, Webagaza, Infelisnave, Raiden, and even Super Alloy Darkshine has joined the Neo-Heroes, although it looks like he's pretty much retired. He's just doing coaching now. And even Child Emperor and Metal Bat has joined the Neo-Heroes. So a lot of talent is going over to this different hero association, and the traditional hero association is kind of freaking out. And that's when we eventually get introduced to the #1 Neo-Hero, who is Blue, Blast's son. And basically what happens next is right as he's introduced, he notices Saitama dashing on top of the buildings at hyperspeed carrying a Mai mask. So let's go back a couple chapters as we see this big brawl between a Mai mask fighting against a monster, and we finally get the answer as to what exactly a Mai mask is, and it turns out that he's basically a monster too. The more he fights and the more he pushes his body, the more he transforms into just this super ugly monster. That's why he can't stand anyone ugly. That's why he was losing to the monster executive, the ugly furrer. And basically what happens is after this big battle, he's able to win, but he transforms into full-blown ugly monster. Everybody sees this. There's a huge crowd watching, and he basically just wants to die at that point. His whole disguise has been blown. He's like, my life's over now. My fame and being a celebrity is all over. It's all crushed now. So he sees One Punch Man. He's like, just kill me. And he grabs One Punch Man's head and tells Saitama, like, look, if you don't kill me, I'm going to crush your head. And at that point, Saitama just grabs him and launches off out of the area, dashing away at very, very fast speed. So One Punch Man has basically just rescued a Mai mask. Who knows what's going to happen with him in the future? He may go over to the Neo-Heroes as well. We'll have to see. But in any case, Blue sees Saitama darting on top of these buildings, holding a Mai mask at lightning speed. And Blue recognizes that and starts chasing after them. Now, some interesting information here. He's recognizing how fast and how powerful basically Saitama is, and he's saying to himself, at this rate, I'm going to fall behind. I can only use this once, but there's no other way. I need to remove the limiter on my suit. So it appears that underneath Blue's suit, he has some kind of crazy technology. Like, is he part cyborg like Genos? It seems like there's lightning coming out of his leg and all over his body. So as he accelerates, he gets lightning all over himself, kind of like Genos. And speaking of Genos, as he's doing this chase down, Genos appears and says, what are you doing? Stop. Now, Blue recognizes and knows who Genos is, calling him Demon Cyborg, and as he slows down, you can see him sweating and panting. So he was really, really pushing himself in order to keep up with Saitama, but still, that's an impressive feat nonetheless. So already you can tell that he's pretty damn strong. So here we see Blue take kind of like a combat stance, and if you look at his hands, it appears like he either has some gloves with some energy on it, or it's maybe even robotic. It's kind of hard to tell with one's art style, but he's saying, I may or may not be able to resolve this situation peacefully depending on your answers. He's ready to go in and fight against Genos. It also appears that like maybe he's about to take his jacket off and maybe he's got some crazy stuff underneath. So Genos recognizes this and says he's detecting a high energy signature from his right forearm. You're wearing a special weapon, aren't you? A powerful weapon that no ordinary person would have access to. And basically he's saying that non-heroes aren't supposed to have weapons like that and use them outside of the hero registry or whatever. And Blue saying, look, Genos, you were using them before you were a hero. Don't be a hypocrite. So there's a little bit more back and forth about my mask and Saitama, and basically Blue saying that the Hero Association is corrupt. They get away with all of these like rules that they bend for whoever they want, and the system is just poor. And that's why he started the Neo-Hero Association. He's tired of the corruption in the Hero Association, and he's ready to start one that's more fair and more balanced and treats the heroes more with, I guess, respect and care, whatever that means. I don't know if they've really faced a supernatural threat yet, that, you know, some of them are going to start dying yet. Maybe those plans will kind of change. But one more interesting thing here is we see Suryu, who has joined the Neo-Heroes. So this is pretty fun and exciting. Suryu comes back. I wasn't really sure what they were going to do with his character because they really dived in on him in the One Punch Man manga and even the show. I mean, look how season 2, how many episodes he was in. Like half the season was focused around the guy. So I'm excited. I'm happy that they're bringing him back. And now he's going to be an S-rank hero for the Neo-Heroes. So it looks like the Neo-Heroes are really getting stronger and stronger. Obviously, Saitama, though, he is still just a regular hero. So he's the one that matters, right? But now we have 2 hero organizations, one led by Blast and one led by Blast's son. So this is a pretty interesting arc. Is this arc going to be like a hero on hero arc? Is it going to end with Saitama versus Blast, or maybe even Blue fights Blast? We're bound to get more information about Blast from Blue. That was a huge bomb that they dropped here in this final panel of the latest webcomic. So what can we learn about Blast from Blue? Well, the first thing we have to take a look at is this guy has some sort of technology, right? Like his arms or his hands seem to be like gloves with some sort of power. He was able to remove some limiter from his suit, which increased his speed. We saw some lightning coming out of him. So is Blast a cyborg as well? This is a possibility that maybe Blue is kind of copying his dad, or maybe it could obviously dive into the complete opposite direction where he wants to be nothing like his father, who is held in such high regard, and maybe he's just trying to be the #1 hero his own way by using modifications. The only information that we really have about Blast's powers are basically rumors that make him seem exactly like Superman. He can shoot lasers out of his eyes. He has super strength, and apparently he's a top psychic that can control an army of 10,000 robots with just his mind. Now that's actually kind of interesting, that rumor alone, because I think we're led to believe that Metal Knight is actually the one that destroyed Genos' hometown. Drive Knight hinted at this in season 1. There was a lot of talk about that. They haven't really brought it up since then, but there's always been this quest for revenge for Genos to find the robot that destroyed his hometown. And while you're led to believe that it could be Metal Knight, who was probably like testing out some new robot or some new destructive power or something, perhaps it was actually Blast. What if Blast is actually the one that destroyed Genos' hometown? What if he actually is a psychic? What if he is a robot? What if, you know, there's a lot of interesting developments that could potentially come from this. But this is exciting because Blast is probably the closest thing that's going to give Saitama a challenge that we're ever going to see. Boros and Monster Garo are both insanely strong, that they were able to handle a few punches from Saitama and keep going. But the mysterious #1 rank hero who has never showed up, who is seemingly unbeatable, is one that could be the person to actually give Saitama a challenge if the author decides that he wants to change it from being a parody and actually make this more fun and more serious. So this is actually really, really exciting. Blast is probably the big #1 target that fans are excited for, and it looks like this is becoming the Blast arc. It could potentially be a Hero Association versus Nero-Hero Association arc, which would also be pretty cool with like not many monsters involved. So a lot of different directions that this could go, but it's definitely heating up. I'm Mastar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your comments below if you're excited about this and what you think is going to happen in this arc. I'll talk to you in the next one. Owarida.